Alright, today we're actually going to go through how I would analyze a stock. And so this stock is Amazon. And I just want to kind of go through some things so that you can think about how you would do it as well. So the first thing I want to do is understand the business. And you can do this in a variety of ways, but the number one easiest way is to go straight to the source documents. And that is the annual report or the 10K. So you just type in Amazon 10K into Google and you pull it up and you read it. The table of contents will show a business section and you just toggle right there. You see the business and then you scroll down and you read the business portion. What you'll find out usually is how the company makes money, and this is the number one thing you want to figure out. So with Amazon, it's actually broken into three revenue streams. You have the US retail, you have international retail, and then AWS. And so a lot of people only see kind of the US retail. You know, you order off Amazon, it's like, oh, it's incredible. Everything, Prime, blah, blah, blah. But AWS is actually a huge driver of the profits. And so that might be something that you wouldn't exactly know had you not gone straight to the source docs. And so once you kind of figure out how the company makes money, then you want to research the market in which it makes money. So if you look at Amazon, you might Google retail e-commerce market and do some research on that. See what kind of the growth rates are, see what Amazon's rates are. So if a company is growing faster than how fast the market is growing, that means it's gaining market share. And if a company is gaining market share, that shows that they're beating competitors. And so that's kind of one way to think about how well a company is doing. And so you'd look at kind of retail, US, and international, and then AWS, looking for the growth rates of the industry, looking how kind of good of a player it is, and you would find out that you have Microsoft, Google, and Amazon are the three cloud titans. And Amazon is by far the biggest, and then you kind of do some research. It's just like leading into questions and then doing some more research. It's just using Google, really. And then even talking to people is a huge way to do some investment due diligence. But then the next thing is actually looking at the numbers. And so if you have an idea that the company is really good, it has to be backed up in the numbers. And so what I like to do is open up a spreadsheet, which is probably by this time you're like, oh my gosh, spreadsheet, what the heck? But if you open up a spreadsheet and then you can just pull off the latest 8 quarters of data. And so what I like to look for is revenue and usually operating profit, which is just the revenues minus cost of goods sold minus the operating expenses. And it doesn't get into like interest or taxes or anything. And so it's usually called operating loss or operating income. And you just take that, the revenue, and if you can do cash flow, that's incredible. If you do the last 8 quarters for those 3 things, you can look at the trends and you can look at the growth rate. So if the growth is really declining, then be like, I wonder why. And so it's just asking why and then finding out, and then asking why and finding out. And so if the growth rate was really decreasing and you found out that a new competitor came in and was really like wrecking Amazon, which is not the case, but you would be like, maybe I'll look into the other competitor. And that's just a lot of what investment research is. Asking why, being curious, and figuring out kind of the discrepancies in numbers and the real world. So that's kind of the general process. And then I would look at the valuation. So Amazon's market cap is big. As of now, it is $809 billion. And so that is a huge amount. But in a vacuum, that doesn't mean anything to us. If it had $1 trillion of revenue, it could be an incredible deal. But if it had 1 billion, then that would be a terrible deal. So you have to gauge it on how well the company is doing. And so Amazon has huge amounts of revenue, and profits are really increasing because of AWS. And so you have to look at kind of how much you would pay for this company versus the profits. And so a lot of people look on a trailing basis, which means the last 12 years, something called a PE ratio. So that's price to earnings. You would look not in a vacuum, but looking forward based on what usually people call comps, which is comparisons. And so when you're looking across the same industry, you're looking for maybe like an Alibaba or a JD.com. How is Amazon valued versus these competitors, and why is it valued like that? So once you do all this kind of research, you can decide whether you want to invest in the company or not. And so then you have to decide whether you should buy more of Amazon or more of another company. And so it's not everything in a vacuum. This isn't quite specific to Amazon, but more of the general investment principles. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much. What's up, everyone? Thank you so much for watching this video. Really appreciate it, though. If you want more information, head over to our website at investingcity.org, where you can find podcasts, more videos, a blog, subscriptions, just anything you need. Anything to become the best investor possible. With that, we really appreciate you. We love you.